What are some other stories that leaders should be telling as part of their day to day?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Now that I've told you, here I found these dozens and dozens of types of stories that people told. So I finally made some time to sit down and think of, well, what are the most important ones? Like, what are the top 10? Right? There's surely some of them are more important than others. And so my last book is actually the 10 stories great leaders tell, where I finally sat down to do that. Okay, so I'll spoil the whole thing for you and tell you. I'll give you the table of contents right now. Right. So here are the most important 10 stories I think every leader ought to be able to tell. All right. And the first four go together because they're about setting the direction for the organization. So that's where we came from. So that's that founding story we just talked about. Why we can't stay there. So that's a case for change story. Where we're going, which is a vision story, and how we're going to get there, which is a strategy story. All right. So you can imagine if a leader can tell those four stories, they're much more likely to get the organization to go where you want them to go because you can tell them where you came from, why you can't stay, where you're going, and the strategy to get there. Right. So the next four go together as well, but they're more about who we are as an organization. So that's what we believe. So that's a corporate values story. Who we serve. So that's a customer story, a story about the customer. So everybody at your company can have a personal human understanding of who you're ultimately working for. What we do for our customers. So that's a classical sales story or customer success story. Basically, a story so that people can understand, that what you do that's so awesome that people should pay you to do it for them, right? And then number eight is how we're different from our competitors. So I call that a marketing story because marketing is generally about differentiating yourself from your competitors. So if you think about those four, if you can tell those four stories, you can easily explain who your company is, who you serve, what you do for them, and how you're different from your competitors, right? So if you're keeping up, that's eight. So there are two left. And those kind of go together as well, but they're more personal to you, the leader. So that's why I lead the way I do. So that's a personal leadership philosophy story and why you should want to work here. So you, the person you're talking to, right? So that's a recruiting story, and those stories are important because every leader's job is to bring in talented people and get them to stay at the company and follow your leadership, right? That's not just the job of HR or the recruiting department or something, right? So those are my top 10. Now there are dozens of others, and you and I could probably argue all day about which ones should be in the top 10. But I think most people will hear that list and think, yeah, I need all of those 10 stories, and you do.